What's really good? What's really good? What's really good? Welcome back to another Wednesday night with the Sanchez Show. As always, I'm your host, Eric Sanchez, aka Legend of Two Games. Make sure you're subscribed to the podcast. Shoot me a like, shoot me a comment. We're live every Wednesday night over on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Shout out to everybody that's over on Instagram. We'll go back and forth, get to the questions, get to the comments. My brother Will Gordon will be joining me very shortly. As you already know, or if you don't know, if this is your first time locking in, we go all of our picks across the bottom of the screen for the week. So we got week 10 picks. We got a non-leg parlay. We got questions and comments in the comment section we're going to get to. And we got to get into the NFL trade deadline, which was a very active one of the best ones so far, man. So hope everybody's doing well. Get your drinks ready. It's going to be a good night. Let's get to some questions. Let's get to some comments. And like I mentioned, all the picks across the bottom of the screen. Last week was the first week we kind of shit the bed, man. We wasn't too great last week with the picks. I went 6-8 against the spread. Will Gordon went 7-7 straight up picks. And our non-leg parlay struggled last week. You guys been locking in with us. We had gone back-to-back weeks where 8 out of our non-legs had hit. So if you have been tailing any of those, you probably want some bread like we did. But last week it didn't really hit. The only thing we caught on last week was Josh Allen, 250 plus yards passing, the Broncos plus 1.5, Derrick Henry over 89.5 yards rushing from the Thursday night game. We talked ourselves out of taking the over in the Patriots game, and instead we went with the Pats minus 5.5. They won, but they didn't cover. But the over clearly hit. And Christian McCaffrey, anytime touchdown, that hit last week. Joe Flacco, 2+ touchdowns, that hit last week. So we had a couple things hit. Overall, 5-4. We're going to do better this week, though, man. But with that being said, let's get to the comment section. Let's see what we got. We're going to go through some of these, and then once Will Gordon joins, we'll pick up from that point. Shout out to Kyrie Thompson. Sauce Gardner traded to the Colts. Yeah, man. As a Colt fan, I like the trade. I know there have been some people that have questioned, was it too much to give up? 2 first-round picks and A.D. Mitchell. I thought adding A.D. Mitchell was unnecessary. They didn't have to add A.D. Mitchell. I think that trade could have been made just with the 2 picks. I know A.D. Mitchell had kind of fallen out of favor with the Colts coaching staff. It wasn't just that fumble against the Rams. I know a lot of people highlight that fumble, but his year and a half, almost 2 years in the league, he's had some drop issues as well, and that's why he hasn't gotten more playing time. Last year, when he got the playing time, he just had trouble holding on to the ball, and it started that way early this season as well. So 80 could have been avoided, but I understood he had fallen out of favor. You look at the emergence of Alex Pierce. Obviously, Michael Pittman's having a great year. Josh Downs is a guy they love on third down playing out of the slot. So there just wasn't enough snaps for A.D. Mitchell at this point. Hoping it works out for him in the Jets because I think he has a lot of talent. But the trade itself, I like it for this reason. If you feel you have a chance to go for a Super Bowl or compete for a Super Bowl, you have to take it. In the NFL, we know there's too much parity. Year to year, things change so quickly. You look at some of the teams that were having great years last year and where they're at now. Remember, the Minnesota Vikings were in the same situation last year where they were competing for the best record overall. They kind of stood pat. It fell apart late in the season for them, right? You look at the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills probably wish they would have made a move or 2 last year to give them a shot at beating Kansas City to get to the Super Bowl. So if you think you have a chance, I think you got to go for it. You got to take the chance, and you got to say, can we win? The Colts have cap space. The Colts have drafted well. But more importantly, I think what Ballard and that team is looking at, their front office is looking at Chris Ballard, is that the Colts have put consistent talent on the field enough to where they haven't been a top 10 pick. Aside from the Anthony Richardson pick, you look at the rest of their drafts, everything has been the middle of the first round. They're consistently a team that wins anywhere from 7 to 9 games. That's kind of been their thing since Andrew Luck left, right? Is Daniel Jones a long-term answer? I don't know if he's the long-term answer, but I know this year he's playing really well, and they feel like this year they have the chance to go win it all. So you go make the move. The pick this year that you're giving up is not going to hurt you. That pick is going to be in the 20s. Even if the Colts don't make the Super Bowl, they've got the best record in the AFC. They're going to finish with one of the 5 best records in the NFL. That pick is not going to be a top 10 pick this year. Next year's pick is where it gets tricky because now you're hoping that Daniel Jones can continue this level of success and play in this manner so that next year's pick isn't a top 10 pick. But overall, under Chris Ballard, like I said, most of these picks have been middle to late of the first round, aside from the Anthony Richardson pick. That's the only one that was a top 5 pick. So Chris Ballard is playing the card of the talent is good enough. We're not going to be picking in the top 10 anyway. So let's take a swing at arguably one of the best corners. I'm not going to call him the best corner. I think Patrick Surtain has that title. He's the defensive player of the year from last year. We know that. Some people may like Stingley a little bit more as the second best corner. Either way, Sauce Gardner is a top 3, top 4 corner in the league. And when you look at his overall rating as a cornerback since he's come in the league, I mean, he's been number 2 rated overall. The last 2 years, people will say, oh, well, he's not making as many plays. But I also think some of that has to do with just teams aren't throwing to his side. You look at the Jets, most of their games, they're targeting the other side. They're targeting the other receiver. A lot of defenses aren't going after him. I know he's had more holding penalties this year than he's had his previous 3 years. Maybe that's him being over-aggressive. Maybe that's him trying to force the action too much. But I think in this defense with Lou Anarumo, with the Colts' ability to blitz and get pressure, now with him and Ward on the outside and Cam Bynum as a ball hawk and safety, there's going to be a lot of playmaking opportunities for Sauce Gardner. And I think he's going to do really, really well in this defense. For Lou Anarumo, he's been down this road before. He helped the Bengals get to a Super Bowl. He knows you're going to have to be able to match up with some of these elite receivers and lock down a side of the field or lock down a receiver in particular situations. And Sauce Gardner gives him that opportunity. And with Sauce Gardner's ability to cover in different spots on the field, I think it works. I think it's worth the gamble. Is it a win-win for both? Yeah, it's one of those that's a win-win for both teams. Because if you're the Jets, you get the 2 first-round picks. Let's not forget they made that other trade with the Dallas Cowboys to get where they traded away Quentin Williams. So now they've got they got 5 first-round picks, I think, in the next 2 drafts. So for the Jets, it makes perfect sense. You're 1-7. You're going to be picking number 1, number 2 this year. You weren't going to make any noise with Quentin Williams, with Sauce Gardner. You go get the best package available. I think 2 firsts was going to be the starting point of any conversation. Too much, I think, is being made of the fact that it's 2 firsts, because you got to consider that Sauce, who is a multiple-time Pro Bowl cornerback, who's only 25 years old, he's under contract for the next 4 years. So this isn't a situation where you're trading for a guy who could become a free agent or he's having contract issues with the Jets. He's under contract. And that contract isn't a bad one. When you consider $20+ million for a cornerback, that's going to look like nothing 2 years from now. The salaries escalate every year. The market gets reset every year. So for a Pro Bowl caliber cornerback to have him under contract for the next 4 years, you're going to have to start with at least 1 pick, if not 2. I think A.D. Mitchell was extra. I don't know if they had to make the move for A.D. Mitchell, but I wonder if they included him in there because they knew at this point with the emergence of Alex Pierce, Michael Pittman's already got his money. Alex Pierce, his option is going to be up very soon. Obviously, Tyler Warren's part of your future. Maybe they felt like A.D. Mitchell, between playing time and between probably the lack of money to put into the receiving corps, he wasn't going to be part of their future. So maybe that's why they included him here. I think you could have done a separate deal with A.D. Mitchell and probably got some draft capital back for him. Or you could have made the Jets include a 2nd-round pick coming back since you are trading them A.D. Mitchell so early in his career. But other than that, I think the Colts made the right decision. If you can get Sauce Gardner, you make the move. And if we would have sat here today saying, oh, the Colts decided not to trade 2 firsts, most of us would have criticized that. You got to make that move if you can get somebody at Sauce Gardner of his caliber at that age. So I like the trade, man. Again, shout out to Kyrie. Shout out to everybody on Instagram. And I see my man Moore. I saw Ren over there. I see you guys. Make sure y'all drop a comment, man. Let me know what y'all want to get into tonight. Let's see what else we got here. All right, I'm going to get to your next question in a second, but let's get to Ron. Who's the best quarterback in the 2024 NFL draft? Caleb, Jaden, Drake, Bo Nix, or J.J. McCarthy? Well, we can work backwards on this pause. J.J. McCarthy is not in the conversation. He's not even I don't think he's even of the caliber of those other quarterbacks. Granted, he hasn't played enough football. He's only started 3 games because he missed all of his rookie season with injury. But he's not of the caliber of those guys that we're talking about. From there, I'm gonna probably put Bo Nix 4th. I know Bo Nix had some success last year. They made the playoffs, but Bo Nix is very inconsistent. And looking at him this year with Denver, you have to wonder how much of that success is really rooted in their defense. They've had some really bad and ugly offensive games this year. Their defense has kept them in some of these games. And so I'm not sold on Bo Nix. He's going to have to do a little bit more to prove to me that he's better than the 4th overall guy in this draft class. So I got him 4th. Caleb, to me, is 3rd. Inconsistent. Maybe the most talented guy. I think him and Drake May probably the two most talented out of that class. But Caleb is third. Again, the inconsistent play, some careless plays, some careless turnovers, and he's a guy that is very hot and cold. You catch him on the right week or the right possession, he looks great. He looks like the Patrick Mahomes prototype quarterback that we were led to believe that he is. But if you catch him on other times, he looks like a guy that's lost. He looks like a guy who just is struggling to read defenses. So for me, he's third. Jayden Daniels, Drake May is close. I'm going to give the advantage to Jayden Daniels because of what he did his rookie year. And I'm not going to hold the fact that he's been injured this year against him. Also, I do think Drake May has a better supporting cast. When you look at the Patriots roster, top to bottom, now with Mike Vrabel as the head coach, they've got the better head coach. They got the better pieces on defense. They've got probably the more complete unit on offense. I know Jayden has the good receivers, but he doesn't have a running game. He doesn't have an O-line. He's got an older tight end. In contrast, Drake May with Stephon Diggs, with Hunter Henry, with Ramondre Stevenson, with the O-line, them getting Will Campbell in. They've just got more overall pieces. So I think the supporting cast is better. But in terms of talent, I think Drake May is right there with Jayden Daniels in terms of arm strength, ability to get the ball down the field, ability to pick apart a defense, ability to move. That's one of his most underrated qualities. I think people talk about that a lot with Jayden Daniels. They don't realize Drake May moves around and can run very well. And Drake May is almost a similar type of quarterback to Josh Allen, that when he gets down the field and he starts moving and running, he punishes defenders. So I'm going to give a slight edge to Jayden Daniels as the best quarterback in that class, but Drake May is closing that gap. Jayden Daniels had the great rookie year. Drake May didn't play the whole rookie season. I believe he sat out like the first 4 or 5 games of last year. But since he's come in and you see this year, they're battling for possibly the best record in the AFC. He's closing the gap. I give Jayden just a slight advantage because I think Jayden is working with less talent around him than Drake May. Let's see what else we got. Speaking of Jayden Daniels, Kyrie said, Dan Quinn says he missed it. And Jayden Daniels should not have been playing late versus the Seahawks. Yeah, he's right. But, I'm not giving him a pass for saying he missed it. Let's put it in proper context. Their defense had not got a stop all game. They were down 35-7 with a little over 8 minutes to go. Jayden Daniels had no business being in the game at that point. You're not going to erase a 28-point deficit in the last 8 minutes of the game. It's not happening. Also, you're talking about your quarterback who had already been dealing with some injuries, dealing with the hamstring injury. He has been in and out of the lineup this year. I don't know why you would have even run the risk of him staying on the field. That's one of those where you have to just wave the white flag. Let's get ready. It's a short week, mind you. It's a Monday Night Football game, so it's a short week. Let's just move on and get ready for the next game. Now you probably ended your season with that. Dan Quinn, maybe it's bad judgment, and it's easy to play Monday morning quarterback, which is what we're doing. But again, everything I highlighted, everything I just pointed out, you got to be smart in that situation. You got to wave the white flag, try to get him healthy, and see if something happens the next week. Now I think it's over for them. This week, who the Commanders got this week? They got the Lions this week. Lions are coming off a bad loss. The Lions want to come in and prove a point. Don't forget, the Commanders embarrassed the Lions last year in the playoffs. So the Lions, I expect the Lions to come out fast in this game and try to make a statement against a wounded Commanders team. Ron said, Klay Thompson is having his worst stretch of basketball ever. What's the deal with Klay? He's old. But he said, nah, is it age? Absolutely. Many say Megan putting it on too much. That's probably playing a factor. You know what I'm saying? The legs is a little weak. I wouldn't be surprised if that's playing some sort of factor in it. But let's be real. Klay Thompson, the regression has been there for several seasons. That's why the Warriors were ready to move on from him. Even when the Warriors' last title run, Jordan Poole was taking a lot of those minutes, and Jordan Poole looked like the eventual replacement for Klay Thompson, right? So we've seen this decline for a few seasons now. This isn't anything new. I also think he's struggling to get comfortable this year because we got to keep in mind there is no Kyrie. So without Kyrie, you don't have a traditional point. It's one of the things that we talked about Real Fans Real Talk recently with Cooper Flagg running a lot of point for them, where you got this young guy trying to initiate offense and get guys going, and Klay Thompson still trying to figure out a spot on that team. So I think overall, Klay will find his rhythm and he will become the spot-up shooter that they need long-term. But we shouldn't be surprised. There's going to be a lot of nights like this. Clay has a lot of miles on him. Pause. He's a guy, a lot of playoff wars, a lot of games in general. He's not going to have the fresh legs night in, night out. So you might go 2 or 3 nights of seeing him shoot poorly, and then he might surprise you that one night when he knocks down 5 threes. So I think this is what we should expect from Clay anyway, man. Again, shout out to the supporters. We see you over on Instagram. Shout out to the comment section. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the Sanchez Show. We're live every Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. Then we're back on Mondays, Real Fans, Real Talk at 7 p.m. We got the picks across the bottom of the screen. I'll be giving you guys some legs of the parlay that you should play this week. Win some money, man. Let's see what we got here. Tito said, let's get this one out the way first, because the next one is a little more, is going to be a little deeper conversation. Spurs latest tonight, Wemby versus Luka. Should be an interesting game. Absolutely. Absolutely. The Spurs look like the young threat. They look like the Oklahoma City Thunder did a couple years ago when the Thunder were starting to emerge as a contender. Wemby is looking phenomenal so far to start the season. Lakers have looked great, even though they haven't had Luka, even though LeBron hasn't been there all year. This one of the matchups is going to be fun to watch. And I'm interested to see how the Lakers continue to progress, because I like the development of Austin Reeves in this role. And Luka coming back, Luka we know is an MVP caliber player. If they can continue to figure out how to give Austin Reeves the space to operate and let him become that second initiator of offense and let him get his moments, I think this team can be pretty good in that aspect. Now, again, I'm not talking about them in comparison to the upper echelon of the West, but I'm talking about them night in, night out being a good team to watch and a tough team to play against. So that's definitely going to be a good matchup to watch tonight. Shout out to Ren. We're going to get to that because that's why I waited. I wanted to bring that up next. Tito says, how does Jerry Jones look now after trade deadline deals? Ren, who is a Cowboys fan, shout out to my man Ren. He said, Jerry made this trade to real Cowboys fans back in. I'm not falling for it. The Cowboys are a bad team. Ren, for the most part, you're right. They are a bad team, but that's something we've been saying for weeks. This isn't anything new. This isn't some revelation that we didn't know the Cowboys weren't a good team. The Cowboys aren't a playoff team. However, to Tito's question, how do they look after this trade? Only thing I didn't like about the moves is that he gave up the first-round pick, his own first-round pick for Quinnen Williams. They had 2 picks this year, 2 picks next year. Why aren't you giving them the Packers pick, which is probably going to be in the 20s? Why are you giving them your pick, which has a stronger possibility of being a top 10 pick? Now, maybe Jerry feels like after this draft, with the adjustments they've made on defense, right? They go get Logan Wilson to play middle linebacker, good in run support. Not so great in coverage, but he is good in run support. Kenny Clark, Quinnen Williams, they've shored up their defense. And maybe Jerry feels like this offseason, between free agency and the draft, they can assure getting the pass rusher that they need to kind of complement the defense. The secondary is going to be some questions. I don't know if they're going to be able to keep Malik Hooker. I personally have said I think Trayvon Diggs is going to be a cap casualty, especially now that DaRon Bland's got his money. DaRon Bland's locked in. I think Trayvon Diggs will be the cap casualty this offseason for the Cowboys. They're just probably going to move on and try to free up that number on the salary cap. But Jerry may feel like we shored up the run game. Now we're just going to specifically target a pass rusher who can be an 8 to 10 sack guy to play next to these guys and go from there. It's not a terrible strategy. So when we say, how does he look after this trade? I think he still looks the same, really. And when you analyze the moves that he's made, the 3 moves, right? The Micah trade, Logan Wilson, getting Quinnen Williams, they pretty much have traded Micah Parsons for Kenny Clark, Quinnen Williams, and a first. That really becomes the completion of that Micah Parsons, because again, they end up using their own pick and keeping the Packers pick. The way it's worded for that pick is a little tricky too, because it says the worst of the 2 picks. So it could end up being the Packers pick if the Packers fall off next year and the Cowboys are better for some reason next season. And maybe that's why Jerry didn't want to all out just say take the Packers pick. Maybe he's holding out hope that if the Cowboys are better next year, if injuries strike the Packers, they're able to, move on from the Packers pick as opposed to their old or whoever. But I think that overall, Jerry is looking at it from the standpoint of we've shored up our running game. We got the opportunity now to go get the pass rusher we want, and that's the direction we're going to go in next year's draft as well as next year's free agency, and we'll go from there. Shout out to my man Bryce. I see you, bro. Will, give me a thumbs up. Let me know when you're ready, man. But I think that's where Jerry's going with things. Shout out to my brother Will Gordon in the building. He fresh off contract negotiations. He came straight in, as you can see right there, man.
What it do, baby? What it do, baby? How y'all feeling tonight? Yeah, I just walked away from the table. You know what I'm saying? So trying to get some things done in Los Angeles. You know.
Yeah, Will's actually for those of you that don't know, Will's out there trying to work out this ESPN YouTube TV situation for us.
Yeah.
So we're trying to figure out why we can't watch Monday Night Football, and we're not going to be able to watch some of these NBA games unless they get this figured out. Will, how you doing tonight, bro?
I'm good, man. What's going on over there?
Everything is good, man. Everything is in motion, you know.
All right.
But I'm gonna leave that. We're gonna leave this question up, bro. Tito wants to know, how does Jerry Jones look now after the trade deadline deals? The last point I made was pretty much when we wrap up the Micah Parsons trade. What it looks like is Micah Parsons was traded and returned. The Cowboys end up getting Kenny Clark, Quinnen Williams, and a future first. That's pretty much what it worked out to be. But what's your thoughts on Jerry and the trade?
He kind of made the best out of what he had in front of him, you know. I mean, it's a situation he created,
right?
But you know what I'm saying, so it's not like I'm like going to give him super kudos for, you know, actually being able to fight his way out of a paper bag for once. But you know, you got some real talent back. What's going to be telling is what you do with that talent. Like you've had talent before in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And we're in the same spot. We're still talking about the Cowboys not being anything more than a brand, you know. So we're just gonna have to see how it pans out. On paper right now, I mean, it looks decent, but I'm not floored, you know, and I'm not going to clown them either. It's just kind of kind of situation to me.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like when I first heard the news about the Quinnen Williams move, I liked it, but my only question was, did you have to give up the first round pick?
Yeah.
Because if you could have made this trade with doing, you know, 2 seconds or you know, a pick further down the road, because again, you know that the Cowboys still have a lot of holes to fill on this roster. So to give up next year's pick, and as I highlighted earlier, if you had to give up next year's pick, then give up the Packers pick. Don't give up your own, because you're probably going to be drafted in the top 10 again next year. So why are you giving up your own pick?
Right.
Give up the Packers pick, and at least that's a late first, and it doesn't have the same impact. But overall, this is going to be a wait and see approach, because the Cowboys obviously have fixed up the middle of their defense. You go get Logan Wilson from the Bengals, who's good in run support. You got Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams down the middle of that defense. So you're expected to be much better against a run. And Jerry's mindset may be, hey, look, we got 2 first-round picks. We got some cap space. We're going to address the pass rusher this offseason. So that might be the direction he's going, and that might be why he's happy about it, because now he feels like now we can get the identity that I want here. So to me, this is incomplete. I don't think we could judge it yet until we see what they do with the picks, because as you said, they've had talent before. So if they don't draft well, they got 2 first-round picks in this upcoming draft. If they don't draft well, then I think we're going to criticize the shit out of Jerry, because it's like you traded Micah and then didn't scout well enough to find his replacement. But if they end up with one of the best pass rushers in the draft, or they end up with one of the elite pass rushers in free agency, then I think we're going to circle back and be like, you know what? Jerry wasn't as crazy as we thought, because he was able to replace Micah and still show up the run defense, which was their biggest issue the last couple of years. So for me, it's incomplete.
It's really going to come down to who gets to a Super Bowl first, the Cowboys or Micah Parsons, you know, because that's going to be the story, you know. If Green Bay was to get to the Super Bowl, then, and especially if Micah Parsons is a huge piece of them getting to a Super Bowl, then that's going to be a big story that Dallas gave him up.
Right.
Now, if Dallas was to get to a Super Bowl before Green Bay, and those pieces that they replaced Micah Parsons with are intricate pieces into getting to the Super Bowl, then that'll be the story. You know,
Right.
like you said, it's incomplete.
Yeah, I think it's incomplete. But we got to wait and see on that. This one from Tito as well. I'm going to give you this question. I went over this. So just get your thoughts on it. Spurs and Lakers tonight. Wemby versus Luka should be an interesting game. I think it's a great early season matchup. The Lakers are kind of exceeding expectation, and we know Wemby's looking like an MVP candidate. But you had texted me something earlier. If you want to share it with the people on your thoughts about this game.
Oh yeah, I said it was a must-watch basketball game. That's what I said, isn't it? You know,
For the most part, yeah.
Well, yeah, and I said with this being must-watch, I said that guy from Akron got to feel he got to be feeling some kind of way. He got to feel a little tight with this being such a marquee game, and it's his team involved, and nobody's even really tripping because it's Luka versus Wemby. You know, this is what it looks like, LeBron. This is what the NBA is going to look like when you're no longer a part of it. And on a night like tonight, I think it's going to be all eyes on that game, and it's not going to be to watch you and your reactions from the sideline. It's going to be to watch what's going on the court, and you're not going to be on it. And I know the attention whore that he is, he's got to be losing his mind.
I agree with you. This is more signals to LeBron that listen, you know, unfortunately, your time has passed. And you know, that's not to be disrespectful. It's just the facts. Like the league moves on. You out of sight, out of mind. Obviously, you're an older player at this point. You're not the marquee of the Lakers anymore. And now you get a night like tonight. Like I said, where fans are excited to see Luka and Wemby, and nobody's even worried about the fact that LeBron's not playing.
Right.
Nobody's stressing that.
Yeah.
Back to some NFL talk. Go ahead.
It's pretty much pick 'em too. I got my FanDuel open. It's pretty much a pick 'em because they got the Lakers -1. So they Vegas is expecting a good game too.
I'm taking Spurs tonight.
I'm staying up for this one.
I'm going with the Spurs tonight. I like the Spurs tonight. I like what they're doing defensively, and like I said, Wemby's playing like an MVP. So I like the Spurs tonight. Tito talking about NFL trade deadline. Eagles trade for Jalen Phillips, a good trade. And this is one of those two that you can kind of relate to Dallas because you're talking about Dallas giving up picks to get Quinnen Williams, who's a great defensive tackle. Jalen Williams is a young speed rusher. The Eagles only had to give up a third-round pick. Howie Roseman, did something smart there, founding an edge guy. Go ahead, Will.
But that's a good pickup. But did we talk about your? I know I'm tardy. Did we talk about your Colts?
That was the first question of the night. Sauce Gardner, I believe it was Kyrie. Sauce Gardner to the Colts, obviously for 2 firsts and A.D. Mitchell. I thought it was a bit of an overpay because I didn't think we needed to include A.D. Mitchell in it. But overall, I love the trade. But go ahead.
That's a we trying to win the Super Bowl now and forget the future because who knows what that holds kind of move. And I like it. Y'all are the hottest team in the NFL right now, and I like the aggressiveness. Why not go after it? Y'all, I mean, I know you hope y'all get there, but nobody. I don't think it was on a lot of people's bingo cards that the Colts are going to be in position to be in the Super Bowl this year. So kudos to the Colts for everything from the trade deadline. That's the move that I saw that I was like, wow, okay, they really trying to do something.
I love the move, like you said, because they're all in. You're 7-2. We didn't expect to be in this position. You're here now. Don't get shy now. Try to win, right? You're here.
Yep.
And then you see the Chiefs may not be the Chiefs. I mean, if the playoffs started today, I know it's a lot of season left, but the playoffs started today, Chiefs ain't in. So the AFC is wide open at this point. If you get a chance to go. I think the mindset Chris Ballard looked at is, since Chris Ballard has been a GM, he's drafted pretty well. We've only had one top 10 pick under Chris Ballard. Most of the time, the Colts are picking middle or later in the draft. So his mindset might have been, look, we know this year's pick is going to be in the 20s regardless. Whether they go Super Bowl or not, it's going to be in the 20s. So you're giving up this year's pick. You weren't going to get somebody in the 20s that's of the caliber of Sauce Gardner. Next year's pick, if you like this team and you feel like, hey, we're still going to be a playoff caliber team next year, then that's another pick that's a mid to late first rounder anyway. So you would be hard pressed to think you're going to find a player of Sauce Gardner's caliber in middle late first round. Sauce Gardner himself was a top 5 pick, so you're probably not going to find that guy. And like I said, aside from Patrick Surtain, maybe Stingley, there aren't too many cornerbacks that are better than Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, you definitely got one of the premier players at his position in the league.
Right. So I love the move. Like I said, A.D. Mitchell, my only thinking on A.D. Mitchell is he had fell out of favor. It started even before the drop against the Rams, the fumble out of the back of the end zone. He had some drop passes last year. And when you look at the emergence of some of the guys like Alex Pierce has officially become the number 2 guy next to Michael Pittman. We know the Colts got Tyler Warren. So A.D. Mitchell just wasn't getting snaps. So maybe that's why they just felt like it was cool with it, including him. We'll see how it works out for the Jets, because the Jets got all this draft capital, similar to like we talked about the Cowboys. The Jets got 2 first-round picks this year. They got 3 first-round picks next year. Are they going to scout well enough, though?
And they got like 4 seconds over the next 2 years, too.
Yeah. They got a bunch of first and second-round picks over the next couple of years. The real question with the Jets is, are they going to scout well enough? Because they've been in this position before. And let's not pretend that the Jets didn't draft Breece Hall, Sauce Gardner, Quinnen Williams. You know what I'm saying? They've drafted some good players. They just ain't never did nothing with it.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing. It's not even about the personnel selection. It's about the front office and what they do collectively to try to put a winning product. Like you can draft good players,
right?
But who you putting in position? Who's putting them in position? Who's putting game plans together? Who's putting schemes together? Who's putting their whole identity together? That's where I think they've lacked. Pretty much, like, who's the last coach that you really kind of felt somewhat confident in as a Jets coach? Was it Rex? I mean, who was Rex?
Rex or
Rex went to 2 AFC championships, right?
Well, Rex had the most success. Yeah, Rex went to 2 AFC championship games.
And since then, I can't point to somebody where you looked at their sideline and was like, okay, they straight.
Ah, man, damn, I feel bad. I can't remember his name. What's the coach from the Buccaneers?
Bowles.
Todd Bowles had 2 good seasons there, but not the level of success that Rex had getting to AFC championship games.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's a combination of things, because the Jets, like we said, they've had picks in the past. They had Sam Darnold, and they didn't develop Sam Darnold.
Yep.
So between Quinnen Williams, between Breece Hall, like I said, Sauce Gardner, they drafted Garrett Wilson. They've drafted some guys. They just haven't figured out the quarterback position, and they haven't been able to lock down the head coach position.
Yeah.
So
you mean the 2 most important positions?
only the 2 most important positions for a team to be successful. So I think until they do that, the draft picks sound great. It's just like having the picks on Madden. It sounds great. And then if you don't draft the right guy, or if you make the wrong trade, then it means nothing.
But you know what? Realistically, how many of those picks are they going to actually use as draft picks, or how many of those are they going to try to package to get elite veterans?
My shout out to Kyrie. I'm gonna post Kyrie's question, because we're talking about this as well. What to make of the Jets tearing it down? That's a great point, because you're gonna, once we analyze the next 2 drafts, according to Todd McShay, because I was listening to some of his thoughts on the Jets, he was saying a lot of this is positioned for the 2027 draft, because all the scouts and all the people in the know feel like the 2027 draft is going to be the big draft in terms of quarterbacks. So his thinking on this is the Jets are trying to acquire as much draft capital for that draft. Next year will probably be about identifying the best players in general. It won't be this draft this year, 2026 probably won't even be about a quarterback for them. It might just purely be about identifying what's the best O lineman, D lineman, or skill position player. And then 2027 will be about identifying the quarterback. I have a couple questions over here to Jets, because as we said, 2 most important positions. If you felt, right, that, hey, we might go into a full rebuild, right? Because you hired Aaron Glenn. He's a rookie, first-time head coach, obviously. The team wasn't already good. It wasn't a playoff caliber team. There was nobody on earth who was picking the Jets to make the playoffs this year. So if you knew that a possible teardown could be in place, why wouldn't you have gone with a more established head coach like a Mike Vrabel and establish a culture and say, look, we're going to be competitive, but we're going to bring somebody in who knows how to kind of develop the talent. Because no disrespect to Aaron Glenn, what are we expecting him to develop? Detroit never had a great defense when he was there.
Mm-hmm.
So you're bringing him in. I could understand if he was a guy who was coaching a top 5 defense every year and you say, hey, this is our identity. Detroit's defense when Aaron Glenn was their offense.
Yeah.
So what is Aaron Glenn developing? What type of culture is he establishing in New York? And why should we expect that they're going to develop the talent around him? He can't develop quarterbacks. He's not developing no offensive scheme.
And then in 2025, I'm not a fan of hiring defensive coaches as my head coach. I'm just not. Like, the league is set up for offense. So why, like, I feel like if you're hiring a guy that's known for just defense, you're setting yourself up. You're putting yourself in a bad spot because the league, that's not what the league is trending towards. Like you're fighting against what the league is doing and what the league is promoting.
You're going against the grain.
Yeah, and that's a losing battle because they're not going to change. It's not going to change. It's going to get worse for defenses. So why would you hire a head coach that is known for defense? Because if you can say, oh, well, then he can bring in an offensive guy that can run offense. But guess what? If he's good enough, he's gone in 2 seasons because somebody else is going to hire him, and then you right back in the same spot with a fucking defensive coach that doesn't have an offensive coordinator to put points on the board. It's just, I feel like if you're running an organization, you hire an offensive coach, put him in position as the head coach, and then you can cycle through defensive coordinators if you have to. But with the way the league is going, you're probably not going to lose a defensive coordinator to like let's look no further than my neck of the woods. Let's look at Cleveland. Jim Schwartz is their defensive coordinator.
Yep.
Excellent defensive coordinator. Nobody's banging on his door to be a head coach. Not because he can't coach. It's because why? You know what I'm saying? The league is trending towards offense. Now, for example, this coming off season, who do you think would get more head coaching opportunities? Jim Schwartz or Cliff Kingsbury?
Right, Cliff Kingsbury.
Absolutely. Who's a better NFL coach from what they've shown? Absolutely.
I mean, but, you know how I feel about Cliff Kingsbury. You know how I feel about
Cliff Kingsbury. I know. I know how you feel, but that's my point. You see what I'm saying? They're gonna lean towards the offensive guy because it's an offensive league.
Well, I think even still, Aaron Glenn is going to be put in a tough position, right? If you're a defensive-minded head coach, but you got to develop a quarterback, right? You're going to have to go get a quarterback whisperer.
Yep.
The moment that things start going left for the head coach, now the locker room is split because the quarterback whisperer has the quarterback. He's got his ear. He's got his attention. The franchise is always going to lean with the future of the franchise, which is the quarterback. Right? Dan Quinn's going to find himself in the same situation. I'm glad you brought that analogy up. Dan Quinn, after what happened Monday, we talked about it, with him leaving Jaden Daniels in the game. The ownership group in DC is going to have to make a tough decision because if Jaden loves Cliff Kingsbury and that's his guy, at some point, ownership is going to look at Dan Quinn and say, okay, do we want to stick it out with you or do we prefer to give the reins to the guy who already has a great relationship with our franchise quarterback?
And that would be for Cliff. That's a dream scenario right there. You know what I mean? You get the head coaching job you wanted. Maybe not the Washington. I mean, you wanted a head coaching job in the NFL.
Right.
You got your quarterback. And if they were to do that, that's them giving you full. I feel like full autonomy and like the keys to the franchise.
Absolutely,
it's you and Jaden Daniels. Like y'all are locked at the hip now. So as a coach, that would be that. As a coach, I think that as an offensive coach, I think that would be a dream if that could happen for Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah, and that's going to be the future that Aaron Glenn faces. They're terrible this year. They're picking top 3. They're going to be terrible again next year. When you finally get the young quarterback, you're going to be the coach that's on the hot seat. who has your young franchise quarterback and his quarterback whisperer in his ear, the guy who he's gonna have to build up a relationship with. After Aaron Glenn gets to year 3, year 4, if you haven't had success, ownership's gonna look at you. All right, you can't cut it as a head coach, but the offensive coordinator already got the great relationship with our young quarterback. We're probably moving that direction.
Yeah.
So the Jets, like I said, they fumbled this, I thought, from jump. No disrespect to Aaron Glenn. They should have went with a more established culture setter, like a Mike Vrabel, and had him come in and take over and understand, like, yo, this is going to be the rebuild year. But next year, he's already set the tone for who we are as a team.
And why won't, and especially because we're halfway through the season and they're finally, they waving the white flag and saying, all right, we got to tear it down, right? Why wouldn't the team, I guess you can't go into a season with that mentality for because of the fan bases and all. But if you know you ain't gonna be shit, tear it down from the beginning.
Yeah.
As soon as you hire your coach, be like, all right, look, we are in full sell mode, and we gonna give you at least 3 years. So don't worry. But we tearing this thing down now from the beginning. We in sell mode, and now we're gonna build the team from scratch instead of doing what they do. You know what I'm saying? The way they do it, like that. Okay, let's act like we're gonna compete. Let's tug along, and then when everybody knows we're in sell mode, let's trade off players, but we might not be able to get the best deals. No. In this case, they got some great deals.
They got some great deals. Right.
But you could have been done there. You know what I mean? You could have been done this, and I think if you did this initially when you hired a coach, that puts you further along as a franchise because now you're able to get your guys in. You're able to establish that culture more. Where now you've gotten those vets and those leaders out of the locker room. Now you can be the leader and you can bring in your own leaders. It's like you put yourself halfway, like you wasted all off season, giving reps to starters that aren't going to be part of your future. You know what I mean? It'll just like if a team would want for once, I know it's probably never going to happen. As soon as they hire a guy, because usually if you hire a head coach, your team will shit anyway. Mm-hmm. Tear that shit down from the beginning and then just start from scratch.
I think the Jets were in a tricky position because even though Robert Saleh wasn't a good head coach, they had good defenses while he was there. So I think they were thinking maybe the defense can carry us for a little bit, and if we can get a little something going on offense, maybe we can be competitive. They just been outmatching a lot of these games. The offense has been terrible, and that's probably why they pivoted and said, all right, we'll move on from these guys, like you said, because you're getting great offers. You're getting 2 firsts for Sauce. You're getting a first and a second for winning. So,
that's great.
It's tough to turn that down at this point. You're 1-7. You're not heading anywhere anyway. You can move on from them. I do agree with one aspect of it though. If you were going to shop these guys, I would have tried to make the deal as early in the season as possible.
Yeah,
like you said, because I'd rather move on and start giving reps to other guys that I can kind of get some film on and see, like, are you a part of our future or not? Because now halfway through the season, you might not get enough film on certain guys that you're going to bring back next year anyway. So I would rather move on and get the film on.
Or you putting out good tape for them to move on.
Right.
Because it might be guys that you might not fit your system, but they might fit somebody else's, and now they're getting reps, and now they're getting somebody else's attention. Now you might be able to get back a fifth for a guy that you had no plans on in the future. You know what I mean?
Right. Ron, I want to get your thoughts on something right here that we talked about right before you came on air. He said Klay Thompson is having his worst stretch of basketball ever. What's the deal with Klay? Is it age? Many say Megan putting it on too much.
Nah, I mean, it might be father time, but that doesn't usually affect shooters. Usually shooters can shoot forever. It's early. That's all I can really put it on. I don't want to say it's because of Meg. Yeah, because that's easy, but it might be true as well. It might be easy for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Because we seen he been outside all summer, more than we usually seen him. I mean, he was always outside, but he, like, before we saw him outside, like on a boat with, like, on a French Riviera with some with the French vanillas. You know what I'm saying? now he got the it's a different party that he's at now.
Oh yeah.
It's a different it's a you know what I'm saying, it's the potato salad is different at this party. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different vibe. So it might be it's probably a little bit faster than he's used to. But I'm not gonna worry too much about play because like shooters gonna shoot, and it's still once we cut that turkey in a couple weeks and he still ain't shooting, then I'm gonna get a little more concerned or when it's closer to Christmas. But right now I think he's probably just in like hangover mode from the summer.
I think it's a combination of stuff. We had kind of seen a regression when he was at Golden State anyway. Older guy, a lot of mileage on himself. But also, I think what we can't underestimate is that there's no Kyrie Irving there, so there's no true point guard setting him up. And so it's tough. Like you said, shooters are going to shoot. Shooters are normally still going to be pretty good. But when they're not able to develop a rhythm and nobody's finding them in their spots, then they're going to struggle. Clay is never going to be a guy who's going to initiate his own offense. So he's going to need point guards who can get him open and get him the open shot. So I think he'll get better, like I said, as the season goes on. But I also think he's going to be inconsistent throughout the year anyway. This is who he's been the last couple of years. He might give you 2 or 3 good games, and then he might be off for the next 2 or 3 games. So that's just what comes with the age and the wear and tear of being in the league as long as he's been in the league.
Agreed. And Dallas doesn't really know what they want to do right now.
Right. That goes back to my point. Like I said, without Kyrie.
Yeah, without Kyrie. Yeah, because they talking about playing Coop at the point. But have you and Trick discussed that on any of your shows?
Yeah, it was mentioned about Coop up there, and I said I think this is Jason Kidd kind of experimenting with lineups more than anything.
Yeah, it might that's the thing. Is it experimentation or does he see like real like Lamar Odom type? Like people try to compare him to what he could be. If Jason Kidd thinks he can play point, then he can be. Then you talking about like Lamar Odom.
Right, you're talking about a different level that we wasn't even talking about.
I haven't heard nobody really compare him to Lamar Odom yet, so I'm trying to be the first. You know what I'm saying? But if he has that, not even, I'm not worried about the ball handling because you got so much space nowadays, and this generation's GOAT don't got no handle at all. So I'm not worried about the ball handling. But if he has the vision to play that position, then you might be on to something, J Kidd. But right now, Dallas does not like the way they're set up right now. Clay's not going to be that dude that he's always been because he's not coming off screens. He's not sitting in the corner. You know what I'm saying? Right now, he has to actually put the ball on the floor. Mm-hmm. At least 2 dribbles if he's going to. He has to create, and that's never been his role. So until things simmer down a little bit, and they find out how they want to be as an offense, and especially when Kyrie comes back, that's when we can judge Clay. I'd say, but right now he is in a tough spot with who he is as a player and what they're asking him to do right now.
I agree. I think J Kidd, as I talked about before, I think J Kidd is trying to experiment with lineups. Dallas loves this idea of keeping all their bigs on the floor, right? With Cooper, with AD. I believe the first week of the season, they had a starting 5 that had Flag, AD, Derek Lively, and PJ Washington all on the floor with Klay Thompson. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's trying to experiment with ways to keep that lineup on the floor and see if there's something there. Keep in mind, NBA season is a long season. J Kidd may not continue to go to this later on, but he might be trying to tap into that potential, like you said, and say, hey, look, if we can develop Cooper Flag in that way, then that adds a dynamic to our team come playoff time. Because now we can keep all these bigs on the floor knowing that, like you said, he could play like kind of the Lamar Odom role of an initiator and create for everybody. But if it doesn't work, so be it. We're going to have Kyrie back soon anyway, so it's cool. I think it's just an experimental phase. Let's see. What else we got? Talk Lakers. We talk. I did not see this though. Where is it at? I just saw a comment here that I had not heard this news. About the Kyrie. Tony Allen arrested on drug charges as police found cocaine and weed during a traffic stop. I did not hear about that.
Oh dang! I ain't heard that neither.
I did not know about that. Appreciate you.
He's in the cannabis industry, right?
Yeah, I heard him. I remember him talking about that on one of the episodes of was it All the Smoke? It might have been All the Smoke.
Because I know he got to join with Zebo.
Yeah,
I don't know where it's at. That's what's crazy. I don't know where it's at and what the name of it is and nothing like that. I saw a couple clips. But man, that's tough. The coke, like the weed, whatever. But dang,
yeah, that's
that
different.
powder. Yeah, you don't want to that powder. Yeah,
That white girl is different.
yeah, man.
Shout out to my guy Randy over on Instagram. He wants to know, and Will, you're gonna start this one off. When does potential turn into wins for the Washington Wizards?
Who asked that?
My boy Ren.
Ren. What's up, Ren? I'm the resident Washington Wizards aficionado here. Yeah. Just introducing myself to Ren. It's tough as a Wizards fan. Is Ren a Wizards fan? Yes. All right. Mm-hmm. And you know, Ren, it's tough as a Wizards fan to even when you see good on the court, it's like as a Wizards fan myself, like right now, like they've been playing some decent ball early, decent for them. But then when you see the flashes, it's like, are we really good, or was the team looking at their schedule and like, oh, we playing the Wizards tonight? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be at the bar a little later than I probably would have, or you know what I'm saying? Do people take us seriously? Is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
And then and over the years, the answer has been no, they don't take us seriously. When we do have good games, it's usually an anomaly, and we haven't had a team that you can look at from 1 through 7 or 8 that you thought could compete at a real professional level night in, night out. And it's probably been almost since John left. It has been since John left.
Since John. The injuries and John leaving.
Yeah, since before John started getting hurt all the time. That was the last time we actually had a team that you could turn on the television and feel like you could win. Now, when you watch games, you just want to see, let's see if Alex Sarr is going to look like the number 2 pick tonight. Let's see if Bilal Coulibaly is, going to turn into Scottie Pippen tonight. Let's see, we got guys that know how to play basketball, but what the Wizards are, and that's what we've been for years, for the last few years, and this season included. We're a team full of role players they're a team full of guys that will be good on other teams that are trying to win championships. But when they are expected to be the guy on this team, that's a failing recipe right there. You got a bunch of if you making speaking of recipes, what the Wizards have right now is we got a bunch of spices. But we ain't got no protein. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no man we gotta if you put some garlic salt in the bowl, some onion powder, some oregano, whatever you got. That's what we got. We got some things that can make a nice meal, but we don't have the steak. You know what I'm saying? We don't got the meat. Pause. You know what I'm saying? We don't have that. We just got ingredients, but we don't have a complete meal, and we haven't had a meal since John Wall. And when you look at the team right now, what the best players or the guys that are getting way too many minutes, in my opinion, the guys that aren't going to be on the team by the trade deadline.
How do you feel, Ren? You can put this in the comment section as well, because I've been from a distance paying attention to the Wizards. I told you I like Trey Johnson, the rookie, but you guys got a lot of young guys. How do you feel about the way the bench is being used? Because y'all consistently going 10 and 11 deep every night. And even tonight, y'all in the second quarter, y'all already going 10 deep pause against Boston. Everybody's pretty much getting playing time.
And the reason that is because, like I said, it's a whole bunch of salt. Right. We got some salt, we got a little bit of pepper over here. We got Like we got all kinds of different salt. We got garlic salt, onion salt, seasoned salt. You know what I'm saying? But if you just throw that in the bowl, you got a bunch of salt.
We got the pink Himalayan salt.
Yeah, we got the pink Himalayan. You know what I'm saying? We got the sea salt. We got all that salt. Boo.
Right.
All that in the bowl, just stir it up. It's just you take a spoon of that. That ain't gonna taste too good, right? You know what I'm saying? We just got a whole bunch of seasoning and no protein, man.
Right now, y'all down 6 against Boston tonight.
And of course, of course, I bet on them. Why? Because why? Why not? You know what I'm saying? Because the NBA is weird. So of course I bet on them. But shout out, hey Ranch, tune in, Ram. Like anytime you got a Wizards, you be rocking. All right, yeah. Anytime you want to talk Wizards, man, I got time for that.
Guys, as always, we got the picks across the bottom of the screen. You know what I'm saying? Lock in with us every Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. And then we're back on Monday, Real Fans Real Talk at 7 p.m. with Trip Young and myself. We got a couple more questions before we wrap up the night, though. Let's see. We got Jay-Z comments. We're going to take that for the end. You already know, Will.
Jay-Z comments?
Yeah, there's two. Ron, and Pooh, I think, have put Jay-Z comments in this. We're going to get to that to end the show.
That's cool. What's crazy is like last week we talked about something, and I was like, damn, I was listening to that in the car today.
Yep.
Today. Yeah, the reason we're out today, I was listening to the Jay-Z Greatest Hits joint. So alrighty.
Ron wants to know, how do y'all like Gil's Arena football show with Skip Bayless? I love it. Skip is playing with football. He is with hoops too, but him and Gil collab is amazing. What you think, Will?
I love it. I love it. I've watched it live a couple times, which live is not really a good watch. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of filler. A lot of dead. Like they don't really have the chemistry to.
Chemistry, yeah.
The chemistry ain't really there to fill the dead spots. And it's a lot. They talk over each other a lot. But I love the personalities that they have on there. I've never been a Skip Bayless hater. Like even when it was easy, I never have been. Like he is who he is. You know what I'm saying? Like Skip Bayless, Stephen A, all the big talking heads, I never had a problem with because that's what they were supposed to be. We're supposed to hate them. You know what I mean? But I love the Aqib Talib on there, Richie Incognito. I don't really like him as a person, but I like his point of view on there. And who is the other kid, the white dude? He's always talking about being in the quarterback room with Brady. If anybody that watches that knows the white dude that's always on there, he's got brown hair. I don't know who he is, but he's always talking about like he was in all these elite quarterback rooms, and I don't know who he is, but I like his takes a lot as a whole. And Skip on that show doesn't get too like he's been. It seems like he's been humble, you know. But I like that whole setup, that whole situation. I like all the ex-athlete podcasts I try to show love to, but that one in particular is one that I do enjoy.
I like Gil. I like what he brings. Like I said, I know Gil is very he's smart in terms of creating clickbait. And we talked about this before because he'll say one thing on the show, but when he's been pressed about certain conversations, I forgot what podcast he was recently on, where he was talking about, he loves to talk about old plumbers or the less athletic guys who played in the 90s. But in a recent interview, he said, he goes, honestly, it would have been tougher to play then. You know what I'm saying? With hand check, with less freedom of movement, less spacing on the floor. So hold on. You talking about, I know you're talking about Cody Kessler.
Is that who that is?
Yeah, but Jay Gruden's been on the show too.
I didn't know that was Kessler.
Yeah.
Jay Gruden. Jay Gruden is great.
Gerald McCoy. I like Gerald McCoy's takes.
Yeah, he's great on there too.
Yeah.
But Jay Gruden, shout out to JP that's been on the show. Jay Gruden used to come on JP's show on a weekly basis when he was a coach for the Redskins. They were the Redskins, and I could say that. Mm-hmm. And Jay Gruden was must listen radio every week. And remember, he got in trouble for getting on Bob 3-6.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, Jay's always been outspoken. And he knows his football. So yeah, it's a solid podcast. I like that show.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, that's all right. This one more, and then we're gonna get to the Jay-Z comments. Will, we doing a non-leg parlay today? You got three picks for it?
I got three.
All right.
I got three.
All right, so we'll get to that.
Trip give you three?
Nah. Trip actually had texted me because he got stayed up at work, so he didn't even get to send me none of his picks and none of that.
Okay, I got three.
We'll go with a 6-leg parlay this week.
Okay.
All right. Paul Pierce, I saw this clip too. I don't know if you saw this clip. It was going viral. He was getting a lot of hate for it. Paul Pierce says that the only way to test love is to cheat and see her reaction. Thoughts?
Damn.
So, Paul Pierce said, if you want to know if a girl really love you, cheat on her and see how she responds.
Wow.
His
That's crazy.
co-host, I can't think of her name now, his co-host on that kind of ripped into him because she was like, what if your girl love herself more than she love you and just leave you after that?
Right.
He was like, well, then she just love herself more or whatever. But what's your thoughts on him saying that?
Paul, wow, man.
Yeah, wild boy.
He been wild. He been wild ever since he retired, man. He been saying a lot of cheat on her. Nah, I don't agree with that. I don't feel like that's a good plan of action to find out if your girl loves you or not. You know,
I agree.
That's crazy. Like it's other ways than to betray the trust of said woman than to find out. Like if you that lame that you can't tell on the day to day if your girl love you or not, then what are you really doing? See that's the talk of it. I do believe he said that because half these dudes with money, these NBA cats, they don't have these tests. That's their life. They don't got no game. They ain't got no kind of rap. All they got is, oh, you know who I am? I play for the Celtics. You know what I'm saying? You don't see you don't see. I got my jersey on in the club because Paul Pierce was that dude that used to do that. It's like you don't see. This ain't a throwback. This is me. Like I put up 26. I put up 26 tonight. I put up 26 tonight. Come on with me.
Real shit. That's what led to him getting stabbed in the club.
That's what I'm saying. This. Listen, that's them dudes. Because I've been around them NBA dudes. When you got money, you act a different way, and you think, well, I got money, so it don't matter. And that whole scenario that he's even putting forth, or just cheat on her in front of her and see what she say, and if she gets mad, then fuck her. Is that basically what it said? Then she can go. That's what you say when you got $90 million in the bank and don't got no rap and don't know how to approach a woman without having $90 million in your bank.
Listen, I 1000% agree with you. I was going to start off by saying, first of all, don't ever take relationship advice from somebody who's rich, because they sense it. Their sense of reality, right. They out of touch. You know what I'm saying? They don't have a good grasp on what's really going on out here, because their interactions with people are just transactions.
Exactly.
Like you said, he messing with women purely based off of what he got in his bank account. So that's what he gonna attract. He gonna attract women that are only there for the money. So yeah, he might cheat on them and they don't really love them. They just sticking around because they know this is all transactional.
Yep. Yeah, don't take advice from that.
Yeah, don't take no. And ladies, that go for you too. Don't take no relationship advice from women that are wealthy and got money. Because a lot of y'all too be listening to these musicians that be telling y'all, fuck him, pack his bags, get him up out of there, and they be right with their dude.
Yeah.
To the very end.
Don't be listening don't be listening to and then don't be listening to these Aishas out here neither.
Right. So if you want to know, like you said, like Will said, if you truly connected, you know who you are. You can tell if somebody really feeling you or not.
Yeah, you ain't gotta. Well, And you ain't gotta put out no test. That's lame. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. You ain't there. You ain't gotta be putting out no test to nobody. You gonna know off rip if somebody really fuck with you like that. Like you gonna know.
And if you feel like you got a test, you already know the answer.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You already know the answer, man.
And for some of y'all dudes, you take that Paul Pierce advice, and surely gonna hurt your feelings. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna think, oh yeah, she fuck with me. I cheated on her. She still with me. All right, she gonna get that lick.
And then also, Kyrie, I don't know if you might not have saw this clip. I saw the clip when when him and KG was doing the lives.
This my girlfriend for the night.
Yeah, this my girl for the night. He introduced KG to an escort on camera.
He said there's this website you could go to and get a girlfriend for the night. Paul, that's
and KG was like, he was like, hey, P, we live, P. We live.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Shut your lame ass up. You letting everybody know you a cornball out here paying for the pussy.
Right, Paul didn't realize he out there with a prostitute on the live.
PP stand for pay for pussy.
Pay for pussy. Listen,
it ain't Paul Pierce. It's pay for pussy.
Paul Pierce was about to turn into Richard Gere out there in Pretty Woman and shit, trying to wipe up.
It's my girl for the night. Yeah, you a lame. Like you a lame.
This the girlfriend you pay for? You brought her around your man's? What is she doing? Right,
and his nickname, and he got the name that his nickname's the damn truth. What? Yeah. The cap.
All right, we're gonna do these comments, and then we're gonna do the parlay to end the show. As always, guys, we're live every Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Shout out to Instagram. We had some comments on that side as well. Shout out to Nessa from the Hot Seat Podcast. I know, Nesta, I know you're excited right now. Buffalo coming off that big win over Kansas City. And then Ren, in terms of I just saw that Ren. Ren was talking about the Wizards. He said, I think they should build around Sarr and George and Trey Johnson. He said everybody else can go.
I mean, those three guys, I'm not building around them. They're guys that I want to have somebody else come in.
Right.
And they are pieces that I'm building around that guy. But none of those guys are NBA building blocks that are gonna lead your franchise. They can be great pieces, but we don't. Then we need a star, and none of these guys are stars.
Right.
Put it like that. None of them are stars. But I do like all their talent. But we asking them to be stars, and they're not that.
Right. All right, we're gonna get to there's two Jay-Z questions, one by Ron, one by Pooh. So I'm gonna put them up at the screen back to back. So
Ladies first. Ron first.
I'm gonna end with Pooh's because Pooh kind of took the conversation somewhere else. Ron said the Jay-Z versus comment. Can anyone compete or beat Jay in a versus? I want the Will Gordon's thoughts. Go ahead, Will.
Absolutely not, Ron. It's not even close.
Yeah, Will commented on it on the show on Monday as well. I know you wasn't on the
not even close. Ron. Like in my right hand on my mother today, I was listening to one of them Jay-Z hits compilation joints. It was like 20-some tracks, and it's Jay-Z's different, man. And the slander of Jay-Z over the years because he ain't been putting out nothing. I think maybe that's why recency bias but it's ridiculous to me. It's the same way with how people be sleeping on Jordan now. All of a sudden, it's like because y'all ain't seen him. Well, the way people slept on Kobe is like, what, y'all forgot the games? Like y'all weren't around. Like Jay in a versus, and I mean this wholeheartedly. Anybody you put up, I mean, it's got. Let me not disrespect everybody. Nas is a beast, but he can't come close in a versus. We're not talking about rhyme skills and nothing. We talking about songs. He really, if we talk about just songs, the only person that can really even come close to him, and it's not lyrically, it's ain't about lyrics. We talking songs. Really only the person that even can come close is Snoop Dogg. If we talking about longevity and songs over the years, we talking about 20 tracks. Because that's what verses is, right? 20 for 20. Yep. Who really songs? We're not talking about Wayne mixtapes. verses.
Right.
Right.
That's why I said that.
That's
That's why
what
I
I'm
said
saying. Like we talking about singles. Ain't nobody coming close to Jay-Z. And I would go further and say that his guest appearances, his guest verses on other people's songs, he could probably put 20 out against anybody's own songs. That's how ill Jay-Z is. People, y'all better in this. Y'all better just get refamiliarized. Like Jay said on what did he say on public service announcement? Allow me to reintroduce myself. Like he might need to. He might need to because the Jay-Z slander today is ridiculous.
Well, I said this on Monday. No disrespect to Wayne, you can't put Wayne in that category because a lot of people are living off of the Wayne like momentum when he was putting out mixtapes.
And mixtape Wayne was ill. Like, yes, that was a time to be alive.
Right. The bars, the lyricism was dope, but you're talking about what he was on a mixtape. Like you said, if that's the case, then let's just do 20 Jay-Z features.
And it's ridiculous.
Right. Because if we just gonna talk about the mixtape, like if you're gonna try to say, oh, Wayne, his verses on ISO, Jay's verses as a feature, then if you don't even do the regular songs.
We need to put a pin in that for the off season when we be doing our non-sports topics. Top 20 Jay-Z features.
I mean, shit.
And that'd be crazy. I'm telling y'all, people. It used to be. It was a time where whoever would come out with a hot song, this LimeWire days, they come out with a hot song, but then you waited for the remix to come out.
Mm-hmm.
And if Jay was on that,
yep,
bananas.
Listen, we and I've said this to people before too. For those that think Wayne is of the same caliber, Wayne and Jay have done like 3 songs together, and Jay has killed them on every song they've been together. Whether it was Mr. Carter, whether it was when they recently did God Did. Listen to the verse. Who got a better verse on God Did?
That God Did verse. Woo.
That's what I'm saying. They've done songs together, and Wayne wasn't. They wasn't even in the same field.
No.
So what are we talking? We talking songs all together. Wayne ain't got better songs, and that's no knock on Wayne. What Wayne did was great during his time, but let's stop trying to compare it to what Jay been doing. Come on, man.
No.
Pooh said, end the show. Kind of, Pooh. We're gonna kind of end the show with this.
Hey, Pooh.
Give the picks next. We said Jay can't be touched in the verses, but can any female hang or touch Nicki in the verses? Missy, Lil Kim, Queen Latifah. Nicki might be the female Jay. Nicki's not the female Jay. I think Missy would be Nicki in the verses.
Missy, yeah.
I think she definitely would.
That's a good question though, Pooh. Missy's probably the only one that could really step up. I mean, against Nicki songs. Actually, yeah. I for me, it's Missy.
I think Missy would beat her in the verses.
Yeah, for me, it's Missy. Yeah, for me,
it's a combination of things. We talked about this on Monday too, right? Because everybody ain't a good matchup just because somebody got good songs. Missy would be a tough matchup for Nicki because Missy, performance-wise, would probably outperform Nicki, and the songs are bigger.
10 times down.
Yeah.
So I think Missy. Lil Kim might not have the catalog. I don't think Lil Kim got enough songs to fuck with Nicki.
She don't. But Kim in her prime was ill.
Yeah, Kim in her prime.
You can say that about a lot of a couple female artists like Kim, Fox in her prime. Missy, ain't nobody close to Missy.
Yeah, it's not enough catalog, bro.
VA, shout out to VA. Ain't nobody coming close to Missy really as a female hip hop artist.
Yeah,
because you had collectively, and I'm not disrespecting no female artists. I'm just saying collectively, none of them really had a long enough run to even sit in the room with Missy, in my opinion.
Nicki would be the only one at this point. Nicki, I mean, even though Nicki hasn't released any new music recently, you're talking about Nicki probably having a 12-year run.
About that, yeah. Well, I guess the length might have been the same, but Missy changed music for female artists. I
Yeah,
feel like.
I think, like I said, I
I
don't think
mean, it wasn't just her, but I mean, Timbo had a lot to do with that. But but that wave she had, there was a minute there. You got to remember the Missy Elliott, like the I Can't Stand. Even after that, I Can't Stand the Rain. There was national Gap at Missy Elliott times. You know what I'm saying? When it was her, Madonna, LL. When it was when the Gap was trying to reach into the streets. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like the LL joint when he shouted out Fubu on the Gap commercial for us by us on the low. Like that whole ad campaign, Missy was part of that, and she's still out here doing her thing, man. So yeah, for me, it's gotta be Misdemeanor.
Yeah, I would put Missy. I think that would be the one that for sure. I don't think Nicki could beat that. Everybody else, yeah, because Nicki's catalog is so extensive. Again, we talking about a crazy run. Nicki being the top female artist, and then the range of music, because it ain't all just pure hip hop. Some of it is pop music as well, which is tough to compete with if you got to perform a song and you got pop hits. So that's why.
Plus, and I'm the old head of the show. Missy was part of a female group, R&B group before. What was their name? But Devontae produced them. Devontae of Jodeci was their producer, and like Missy been out here. I'm talking. This is like when I was like 14, 15 years old. I'm about to be 47 next year. And Missy been in these streets for a long time and putting out good music and making way. Like, shout out to Missy too, because usually if you were breaking through, except for Queen Latifah, you had to be be sexy or a sex symbol or what America perceived as sexy. And she came like she's gotten her health together, whatever since. But she came in big girl vibe, like you know what I'm saying, before it was cool. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure like the Megs and the Lizzos and all that, like if like Missy walked so they could run, you know what I'm saying? So like Missy as a female artist, I don't think she gets to do that she probably should. So shout out to Poop. I'm glad you brought up that question. And me and Eric have talked about hip hop multiple times on the show. And we've never, that I can recall, giving Missy her due. So shout out to you, Poop, for even bringing that up.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. All right, before we close out the show, we're doing a 6-leg parlay. Will, last week wasn't too great. It was the first time we really didn't take him to the bank.
I got 4 legs for you since Trip's out this week.
So you go 4, I'm gonna go 4 as well. Last week we went 5 and 4. Just to give you a recap of what hit: Derrick Henry over 89.5 yards, Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown, Flacco 2 TDs, and the Broncos plus 1.5 hit. But we missed on Jonathan Taylor anytime touchdown. We missed on. We also hit Josh Allen over 250 yards passing. But we missed on Jonathan Taylor anytime touchdown. We missed on the Pats minus 5.5. They won the game outright, but obviously they didn't cover 5.5. We missed on college football. Houston minus 13.5 on Saturday.
That was crazy. That's my bad on that one. That was
so good. And then the Josh Allen rushing yards, we missed on that. He was at 36.5, and I think he ended the game with like 23 or 26. So we just missed on that.
Okay.
What you got? You're gonna go 4 legs. I'm gonna go 4 legs. So we're gonna go 8-leg parlay for this week. Let's see how we do.
Now my first 3 are I got hard numbers on. The 4th, I don't have a number on, but I'm taking it because they've been lowballing it all season. So my first, I'm gonna go James Cook anytime touchdown.
I like it already.
My second, I'm going Bo Nix tomorrow night over 215.5 passing yards.
Okay.
And then my third, I'm taking the Lions covering the 8.5 against Washington.
I like that.
And then my 4th, I was already wanting to put this in there, but you know how they do. They don't put out the numbers till tomorrow probably for this. Mm-hmm. But I'm taking whatever they got Justin Herbert's rushing yards set at, I'm taking the over. And I'm gonna tell you why. Every week he's hit the over on his rushing yards. Last week, his over-under for rushing was 16.5 yards. He had 57.
He might be in that same. He might be in that same space this week. I understand why you're doing it. The O-line is banged up, and they're going against a Pittsburgh team. That the one thing Pittsburgh can do is rush the quarterback, so he'll be moving around.
Yeah.
I looked at Bo Nix's numbers as well. I was thinking about that. There's something else I like for the Mall's game, though. I like J.K. Dobbins over 70.5 yards rushing the ball. The carries have been there the last couple of weeks. Last week, the yards were down, but they were playing the Texans, who got a top 5 defense. But you look at the prior 2 weeks before that, he ran for 111 against Dallas. He ran for 87 yards against the Giants the week before that. So he's getting the carries. He's producing. Last week, I think, again, was just a down week because of how good that defense was. This week, they're not playing a good defense, so I expect them to get back to it. That's
70.5?
Over 70.5 rushing yards.
Okay.
All right. I love just one of my favorite lines of the week, bro. Ravens minus 4.5 against the Vikings. We've been teasing it for a few weeks now. The Ravens are going to get right now that Lamar's back. I don't trust the Vikings. Don't get caught up in what they did last week by beating the Lions. That's a division rival. We know J.J. McCarthy's not a good, a good quarterback. I like this spot. The Ravens are getting healthy, and I expect them to go on a little bit of run. I also looked at the over on that game because I think the over is like 49.5. So I expect it to be a lot of points, but I definitely like the Ravens minus 4.5.
Okay.
Right? I also like, there's another one here I like. I like the Eagles getting 2.5 on Monday night.
Okay. I looked at that. I did look at that.
I think this is one of them spots. First of all, I'm assuming the Packers are being favored here because they're at home. The Packers are coming off a terrible loss last week. So unless there's an injury that we don't know about, getting pretty much almost a 3-point cushion, why not take it? I like the Eagles in that spot. I think the Eagles are going to beat them outright.
And sidebar on that game, because I was looking at that. That's why I said, because you know the NFL is weird as shit.
Right.
And the Packers are supposed to have this all-world D pause. And Micah Parsons and blah, 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 blah. I was thinking about going in, like, just on a personal note, on my personal ticket, not for, I don't want none of the viewers to hold me to this, but I was thinking Saquon might show who he is. Because the NFL is weird and the Packers are supposed to be so good on defense, I almost was actually probably will throw in a ticket with Saquon scoring 2 touchdowns anytime this week. Something's telling me it's going to be that kind of weird week.
Yeah, I like it.
It might even be them on like the 3 and him throwing a pass to a tackle. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel something weird like Saquon's going to show who he is this weekend.
I like it, and the Eagles got to get back to their identity. You know what I'm saying? So I expect this to be one of them games where they just say, "Yo, we're gonna pound the rock." Pause. You got to stop the run. And
they tooling up too with the trades they making, and they not sexy trades, but they are impactful, winning kind of moves. And who's been a better run organization than the Eagles in the last 3 years? Really,
nobody.
Like, shout out to them, man.
Nobody.
Imagine.
I guess, you know, we could put Kansas City in that conversation as well because Kansas City is found a way to keep retooling. But in terms of like big impact players, nobody. Because if you look at the way Philly's been able to build this, you look back 5 years ago when they gave the keys to Jalen Hurts. They didn't have A.J. Brown. They didn't have Saquon Barkley. I think they had just drafted Devontae Smith. So the way they did that.
They were a team that never won a Super Bowl.
Never won a Super Bowl. But they retooled. They were able to get them big impact players on offense and still get the impact players on defense because they drafted Quinion Mitchell. They drafted Jalen Carter. They drafted what's the white boy Cooper DeJean. You know what I'm saying?
DeJean, yep. And shout out to them because I thought their coach was the clown when they hired him. And I was wrong.
So they've been able to retool that team and still get impact players, which is crazy. Trip, you back? You want to join us right now?
Get Trip in here, man.
Give me a thumbs up, Trip. Let me know when you're ready.
Trip, get your ass in here, boy. Where you at, boy?
Young in the building. He showed up just for the parlay.
Trip
He said,
Young in the building. What up, my guy?
Put me in the game, coach.
What up, man? Relief pitch. What? Hey! Who was it that they used to call from the bullpen? In the movie.
What, Major League? You saw
Wild Thing.
Wild Thing?
Wild Thing just came out of the bullpen.
Can't
Hey,
close
Trip,
this thing on out, fellas.
So
Wild
we
Thing just came out the bullpen, man.
We were going to do, since you were here, we were going to do an 8-leg parlay, 4 legs each pause. This is what we got so far. If you got anything you want to add to it.
I'll add to it. Go ahead. Tell me what y'all got.
And give me your opinion on each leg. Give me your opinion on each leg. Trip.
I like Ravens minus 4.5 against the Vikings.
I'm with that.
I like tomorrow night J.K. Dobbins over 70.5 rushing yards against the Raiders.
Okay.
I like the Eagles plus 2.5 against the Packers.
Okay.
Then Will had James Cook anytime touchdown in a Buffalo game at Miami. I like that one a lot. That might be a 2 touchdown type joint too.
It might be.
I'll definitely like the 1 touchdown. He likes Bo Nix over 215 yards passing tomorrow night.
Okay.
Excuse me. He likes Lions minus 8.5 against the Commanders. I like that one as well. Lions coming off a loss last week. The Commanders with no Jaden Daniels. I can see the Lions kind of running up the score on them next week. And he likes Jay Herbert. We don't have the line on it, but he was saying take the over on the rushing yards. A lot of that has to do with the fact that their O-line is banged up the way it is. Pittsburgh, the one thing Pittsburgh can do is rush the quarterback. We saw that last week against the Colts. So he likes taking the rushing yards. But let me know what you think, and there's something that you want to add to it.
All right. So I like that. I'm gonna take the Dolphins to cover that 8.5. I mean, excuse me, the Bills to cover the 8.5 over the Dolphins.
Like that.
Okay, so that's 1. And then I'm gonna take James Cook for 80 yards.
Okay.
All right, and then wait, did you say you took the spread on the Colts, Eric?
No, I didn't touch that game.
Okay. I'm taking this. I want the Colts to cover that 6.5.
My only concern, I'm not even going front. My only concern, I expect the Colts to win. You know, them Berlin games be a little tricky. Those NFL Europe games.
They got my main man South now.
I don't know if he's gonna play this week though. He might not play this week because they were already over in Germany when he I saw a clip.
Hold on. Supposed to say playing this week. Hold on.
Like I said, I don't know if he's gonna play for sure because the team left to Germany right after the game on Sunday.
All right, so then give me touchdown because he's gonna have a bounce back week this week.
So take Colts off and put Jonathan Taylor anytime.
Yep.
Yeah, I expect Jonathan Taylor to get back on the touchdown.
Hey, Trip, that Cook 80 yards, is that rushing or rushing and receiving?
Well, I was just rushing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we got some extra stuff here. We got an extra leg. We going 10 right now. This is a 10 piece.
Oh, 10 piece? All right. This is a bucket. We're going to call this the bucket.
yeah. This is a 10 piece. Mix it up. You know what I'm saying? Mix
no
it up.
Biscuits? Ain't no biscuits?
Yeah. Throw the biscuits in there. Get two sides over there. Which I want on the side. Some mac and cheese. You know what I'm saying? All right, so this is what we're going with. We're going Ravens minus 4.5. J.K. Dobbins over 70.5 rushing yards. That's tomorrow night. Eagles on Monday night plus 2.5. Then we got James Cook anytime touchdown. Bo Nix over 215 passing. Lions minus 8.5. Jay Herbert, we're going to take the over on the rushing yards once we find out what that is, Will?
Yes, sir.
All right. Bills minus 8.5. James Cook.
Hey, disclaimer, if it's 25 or less.
So we're just going to put over 25 rushing.
Yeah. Oh.
And we'll just take the odds, whatever it is from that point.
Yep.
All right. So over 25 yards. Bills minus 8.5 to go with James Cook, 80 plus yards rushing. That might be a ticket by itself because we got James Cook anytime touchdown, James Cook 80 yards, and Bills minus 8.5. That might be a ticket. That might be a ticket on its own. And then Jonathan Taylor anytime touchdown, which I do love. I expect that to happen. We got 10 legs here. I'm gonna go out on the limb. I think at least 8 of these legs are gonna hit.
Yeah. It's looking good. I love every one of these legs, man.
That's what I
I
was
love
gonna
them
say.
all.
I think I like
I'm like the pops in Christmas Story. I'm looking at the lamp.
I love it. That's my favorite Christmas movie too.
Hey,
Listen,
buy two though. Buy two.
we were getting ready to wrap up. Trip, I know you just joined, so I'm gonna let you start off the final thoughts.
Oh man, listen, I'm sorry I was late tonight. They got your boy out, you know what I'm saying, working again. So I apologize for being late tonight. But I appreciate my brothers for holding it down as they supposed to do and as they always do. Not much love to my co-hosts and much love to y'all, man. The supporters at home. Appreciate y'all, man. The way y'all keep us in order, making sure we gotta do what we gotta do and be on the air. And the way y'all be hitting up people on our behalf, trying to get them to come on
That's a
to the
fact.
show. You gotta love that. I was just talking to Imani because she was asking me if I was, gonna be on the show tonight, and she was like, "Nah, I'm hitting up Teaspoon now. I'm gonna be on her DMs. I'm posting all that because her
Hey yo, Imani Bates.
No,
I
Imani
will-
gotta be on the
Well,
live.
that's on the live. That's Imani, not not Imani Bates. If I
Okay.
if I was talking to Imani Bates,
I'm
I'd
trying to
have.
get familiar with all the followers. You know, I'm trying to get familiar with the names. You know.
I got you, bro. But yeah, man, shout out to all the supporters, man.
That's a fact. Will, give me a final thought.
Final thought tonight. Hey, it's almost we about an hour from it. Lakers Spurs tonight, man. This is what the NBA basketball is all about, man. We got the alien, the monster himself, Wemby, going against the establishment, the franchise of the NBA, the Los Angeles Lakers with the Dons playing. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy that this for real. This is one of the most marquee matchups of the league this season so far, but it's led by two foreign-born players. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I look forward to a great basketball game tonight. If anybody can, don't gotta go to bed and get up early tomorrow. If you can stay up for Lakers Spurs tonight, I think it's gonna be a treat. This dude Wemby is not from this. He's not from this planet. He's an alien, and I think we should all take advantage of being able to see, phenomenons like this kid right here. What we seeing right now is something to behold.
Nah, that's a fact. It's gonna be a great game tonight. Shout out to all the supporters. As always, we greatly appreciate you guys. Make sure you subscribe. We'll be back next Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. But before then, we're live Monday night, 7 p.m. Real Fans Real Talk. We're gonna give you the whole recap of Week 10 as well as anything that took place in the NBA during that time. Shout out to everybody on Instagram. Will Ren had 2 more comments in regards to the Wizards. Like he said, nobody's coming here, unfortunately. And then he also said, he was talking Jay-Z, he said, in regards of anybody game with Jay, he said, no, Jay-Z is in a world of his own. We agree with that as well, Ren.
All right, Ren. Ren, come on, play some cards with me, man. You can come on, play some cards with me anytime you want, bro.
Let me before we go, I just want to say congrats to Mandani on winning that New York City
Mandani,
yeah.
mayoral
Absolutely.
race. And to all of the haters and the racists that started putting up comments after he won that election.
Yeah.
I hope everybody that was leaving New York got elected. I hope y'all staying on business and get up out of here.
Right. Once that said if he get elected,
you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I know we running a little late, but Trip just got here. As a matter of fact, you know what? And we've talked about this before, Eric at least, when we talk about music. I've always felt this musically, and now I feel like it even more. Fuck 50 Cent, man. Fuck Curtis Jackson, man.
Have a good evening, everybody.
This dude, hey, did y'all see what he posted last night?
Nah, I did.
Y'all didn't see what he posted last night?
Nah.
So
now I'm about to go over and check now.
Okay, I'm gonna let you know. So for people that don't know, I've always thought he was a fucking pawn.
Oh yeah, I see.
I never thought he had bars. I never thought he was good. I never thought he was good at what he did. I felt like he was propped up by 50 and M. He fit the bill. He
Dre and
was yeah. I mean, my bad. I felt like he was about Dre them, pumped him, pushed him. He was like the Manchurian candidate. Like they put him in the spot. He fit the bill. Oh, he been shot before. Oh, he got muscles. Oh, and he from New York. Let's go ahead and make this dude a star.
You talking about this?
Yeah.
Yes,
I
that.
just saw it.
Because listen,
Listen,
50
and not
was his bracket, so he probably
that's about money. That's all about
That
taxes.
is all about money.
That's
Because
all
his-
about
and
now
his-
you gotta pay taxes.
And his,
But,
and his
but fuck the people. But fuck the people, right?
yeah.
Fuck the people. Fuck the
'cause
people.
he's not poor
Fuck the
anymore.
people. Fuck the people.
And
I
Fuck the
just
people.
think that
And we know you was trying to fuck JD5 mom last weekend, bro. That too.
He showed up at the
I ain't
Monday
mad
night
at
That
game.
too.
I ain't mad at him for that one because
He showed up at the Monday night game. Now let's say he interested in the Commanders.
Hey, JD, I'm a command fan. Command.
Now
I go to command the starter.
well, I feel you. I'm with you on that, but I'm gonna still give 50 a little bit of grace, and here's why. I'm gonna get grace from me one time because 50 got us lit when we had when the documentary first came out. It was 50 reposting it on his Instagram, got us viral. So I'm gonna give 50 a little grace. I know it's about the money and all that, but
That's all it is. But it's corny. It's corny of 50 though, because 50 understands the power.
You don't need exactly, man. And
He
you
understands
a
the
voice.
power.
But he looked out when he didn't have to for the gang. So I'm gonna give him a pass one time for this.
I understand
But that was such a huge moment for this country. And for bringing things back to that was huge. And for him he basically just shit on it for his personal reasons.
Yeah.
And his voice is so widespread. You can feel that way. But when you put that out there, it does way more damage than you realize. And it's very irresponsible to me. Fuck you, 50 Cent.
Hold on. I want to say this. 50 understands the power of his social media because he himself has said when he's beef with guys, he said some of these beefs is just they ain't real. He's like, but when I post you or I clown you, I'm giving you clout now. I'm giving you an opportunity to piggyback off the attention I've given you now, right? So to Will's point, he understands the power of his voice on social media. When you say something like that, Will, Trip, right? There are a lot of ignorant people who will run with that narrative because 50 said it.
Yeah.
All the whole right.
I agree with
the
everything.
whole right will jump. Well, because they
Will, everything you said, I'm with you on. Just to be clear, I'm only giving him that one for me because I still appreciate that look. So that's the only reason. But I agree with everything you're saying.
I feel that I just feel like that this is such a huge thing that his irresponsibility.
Yes, absolutely.
You'll see you'll get your right wingers and your red hat wearers that they'll find one black dude in the whole crowd, right? And then let's go grab him and put him up on stage and you're 50 fucking Cent, man. Now you've given them the whole Now everybody that's on that side can say, well, this is 50 Cent saying
who came up in New York.
Exactly, man.
Like 50,
you can feel that way.
50 knows the power of what he's doing. And
the irresponsibility is crazy.
It's also
it's certain things I won't do or say on this show because I have kids and I have responsibility for kids. You are a huge influential millionaire, probably close to $1 billion with all your businesses. You TV, you're business wise, you're great. When you do something this irresponsible, it's way more widespread and outreaching. People are going to grab onto that for wrong reasons, for the negative reasons.
50 got to be more aware.
Not surprised, though, right?
What happened?
I said, y'all not surprised that he would do something like this, though, right?
I'm not at all. This is the guy I've always hated.
I expect something like that.
I'm gonna say this. This is why I'm surprised. Right? Because 50 still has enough of a connection to the city and understands what the climate in the city. there was a lot of, even though I moved out the city a couple years ago, as I followed this race, there was a lot of racial undertones in this, right? We know that. So 50 as a businessman and having a connection to the city, understanding, like Will, and Will, I think makes a great point. You might personally feel that way, like, yo, this is gonna be tough for business. This is gonna be tough. But you already know this, the cards are already stacked against Zoran. You already have people, you have that group of people that no matter what, they weren't gonna ever give them a chance.
Oh yeah.
And now you piggyback and say something like that, and now you kind of give them the fuel to their fire now. Well, look, 50 feel that way. That's why I say that's why I'm surprised, because this is one of them situations that 50, you got to be a little bit more conscious. I get it. I know he trolls a lot on social media. I know he says some shit joking, but there's also times where 50 Cent is 50 years old, bro. At some point, you got to be a little bit serious too and be like, yo, that might not be the right time. Nah, but come on, Trick.
Earth post when Earth died.
But that's different though. That's personal beef.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, as far as the maturity level, I'm just saying.
Yeah, but I don't blame him for that, because that's personal beef. He almost died behind, their conflict. So I would expect nobody to. The famous Big Fendi quote when he was like, "I heard one of my haters died. I just came to make sure, bozo." Like, I get that energy. You know what I'm saying? I completely understand that energy. Wow. If you got real beef with a nigga and he died, fuck him out. Fuck him. Let him die twice. I don't give a fuck. But in this situation where you're talking about, we already have a divide in the country, and you already have those on one side that are looking for anybody to pull over. Look, they don't support it either. Look, they don't feel that way either. That's one of them that I really wish 50 would have been like, yo, I'm not gonna publicly say how I feel about it. I don't have to congratulate him. I don't have to say nothing. And to the racial undertones as well, it's disgusting that in this country, right? If you're Christian, you can run for political office. Nobody brings that up. If you're Jewish, nobody brings it up. But because he's Muslim, that was brought up so often in this race. That has nothing to do with the man being able to do the job. But we don't fault anybody else for their religion, their beliefs. But
in the land of the free, by the way.
I'll definitely be on that type of stuff.
But that's also part of the climate that's there. That's why I say you got to be more conscious of that.
Yeah,
that's one of them that
very irresponsible.
Right, that's one of them that, yo, amongst my peoples, I might talk about and say, yo, shit's tricky. I might have to just get up out of New York for a little bit, because for me as a businessman, it might not be the best situation. But you're gonna put a tombstone up, New York City's dead. Now he gonna say, hold on, he gonna say New York City's dead, but watch how many shows he still does in New York.
Plus, but most of his businesses now, like especially the production stuff, he ain't even doing in New York.
But I guarantee you, he will still come back and get that New York money though.
Of course he will. Because why would
he? So then don't post that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Don't post it.
Yeah, don't post that. That's what I'm saying. You can have that conversation privately and just be like, yo, shit gonna get tricky. We gonna wait to see how this kind of plays out. Because he has a previous post where he says, yo, this is gonna get tricky for him to pull off all these things that he's promising, because there's gonna be people who's gonna create a lot of obstacles so that he can't get these agendas pushed through.
Of course. So
you was conscious enough to understand this, to word it that way then. But the night that the man wins, you post a tombstone and say New York City's dead? Come on, bro. That's why I say 50's smart. He know, bro. Come on.
New York City ain't ever dead. I don't give a damn who's in the
But what he did with that post, gentlemen, it was he told you who he's aligning with.
Yep.
So we can leave it at that. We now know you can be a fan of his music, you can be a fan of his television stuff, but just know he told you what side he was on last night.
Right.
Yeah, he's not for people that's from where he's from anymore.
Nope.
No.
Now it's for people.
Right. But that's what I say.
Bracket.
He'll still come back and do a show and take your money though.
Of course he will.
But God forbid that you reap the benefits of the city looking out for you. He don't want that though.
No.
And if he was to fuck up and have some kind of shit hit the press, you know who's gonna tear him down first, and who he's gonna be running to prop him back up? Nah, it's over now. Nah, you over there now. You over there now. You playing on that side of the fence. So go ahead.
I agree. Fellas, we're about to wrap up, man. Shout out to all the supporters. Shout out to everybody. We see you guys on Monday night. again, we greatly appreciate you guys, and hopefully your parlays hit this week. We're gonna track them and make sure we get some money, man. But for my brother, my brother Will
Eric, send
Gordon,
them over to me, bro.
I got you. I'm gonna send them over. For my brothers, Trip Young, Will Gordon, I am Eric Sanchez. This was the Sanchez Show. Enjoy your weekend. We catch you guys on Monday. We out.
Yes.